This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Rachel Fife.
Well, welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Now, if you are looking to get your child into the wonderful sport of surfing, well, someone bringing over 25 years of surfing instruction is right here in Orange County. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, John Pierce, with JP Surf Camp. So, John, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me, Rachel.
Well, gosh, we are really, really excited to learn about your business. So tell us about your company.
So, like you said, I'm the owner of JP Surf Camp, which was founded in 2001. It's San Clemente Parks and Recreation class, which is at the San Clemente Pier. And our surf camp has 25 kids in the morning, 25 kids in the afternoon, which we operate in the summer. And it's more of like a grassroots camp. So we just focus on surfing solely. And we have a 3-to-1 ratio. And we also throw a lot of fun in there. Kind of like our deal is that we just want to focus on surfing, but have fun with it and let kids know that, hey, this is all about having fun and having a good time and enjoying the water together and cheering for each other and meeting friends and so forth. So it's a camp experience, but it's great.
Wonderful. Gosh, how did you get into this business?
Well, my journey started as a kid. I was taught how to surf by a fellow friend, a family friend. I grew up in Glendora, so I grew up a little ways away. And when I learned how to surf, I was brought down to San Clemente area a lot from my parents. And then as I became a driver, I was teaching my friends how to surf so I could have more people to surf with. So I've been doing this since I was a kid. So it kind of started long ago. Little did I know that fast forward many years that I would have the opportunity of being a teacher, a public school educator, where I teach 4th grade in San Clemente, that I would have the summers off and then be able to actually start a business in lieu of all that experience. So it's great. So that years ago kind of helped train me for the future now. So that's kind of how the journey started. And I love the sport. So it's it's been such a great thing for me, and it's great to pass that on.
Wonderful. Well, are there any myths or misconceptions in your industry and what you do?
I think the biggest myth is that, because we do a lot of adults come to the camp if they're from, if they're visiting or they do private lessons with us or group lessons. And I think the myth is that they're too old to start, or they should start when they're younger, and there was a little bit of fear involved. And I think that's a myth, because if you have the right equipment, being like a comfortable wetsuit, so you're not too cold, a good sized board that's perfect for your body, as far as like the buoyancy and so forth and the length, then you're good. And if you have instruction and you have someone with you and you feel confident, you're going to be successful. So you can start at any age. And I've taught all ages. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, now we know marketing is like really the heart of every business. I mean, how are you attracting new students every summer?
Well, I am a Parks and Rec class, so that helps because we're in their magazine. A lot of it's word of mouth. I do email mailers. I have social media, of course. A lot of kids come back, being an educator, I guess, in elementary school, that's definitely a benefit as well. And I think a lot of it's just like people repeating and word of mouth and in the location and how we do it and how we structure it. And it never gets old because, we only do it in the summer. We focus on the summertime only or solely. So they come back the next summer and the kids do that for their whole childhood. It's great. And then a lot of kids actually wind up working for me as they become like 15 or 16 and they're instructors. So it kind of keeps going on. And it's been great to see and watch that, which is really, really cool.
That's special.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing a podcast, your own podcast?
No, this is actually my first podcast, but I like it. Yeah, but maybe I should.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, now outside of work, what do you like to do for fun? I obviously would say surfing, but what else do you like to do?
Well, I definitely still am an active surfer. I typically just surf here in San Clemente and travel a little bit too. But I have 3 kids, which I hang out with a lot, and I have a good group of friends that we go down and do beach runs, and we do different stuff to keep in shape and swim and so forth. I definitely like to stay active and be outside. So that's important to me. So yeah, so I do a lot of things for fun in that sense.
Well, wonderful, John. So, John, tell our listeners one thing they should remember about JP Surf Camp.
One thing you should remember is just that we're solely focused on fun, and we have a theme every day. And when you come down, you're gonna have a good time. And we want our kids to like cheer for each other. It's all about the experience. And surfing is not. It's really like an individual sport, which it is. So we want to kind of have people cheer for each other and get to know other surfers. And because if you're like in soccer, other things, it's easier you're part of a team. But when you surf by yourself. So it's more about community. And then living down here in South Orange County, surfing is a big deal. So it's kind of nice to have other kids to surf with and so forth. And that's my goal, is that they'll go on and they'll have the love like I do. That not all kids stick with it, or people stick with it, but that's my goal. Hopefully that answers your question, but that's my goal with the camp, that they just stick with it and they have that same feeling that I have, because there's so many people that live at the coast and I see them, and if you ask them, they barely go down to the water, they barely go down to the ocean. And even if you don't surf, but you just want to swim or get your feet in the sand and get grounded, or bodyboard or so forth, it's such a healing thing. It's been such a big part of my life, and it'd be great to see more people use that, that live in this area, because it is a beautiful tool or beautiful thing, access we have down here. Laguna Beach, your beaches are beautiful, and our beaches as well. So it'd be nice to have more people use that, and that should be what you see.
Wonderful. Well, how can our listeners learn more about JP's Surf Camp?
So you can check us out at jpsurfcamp.com. We have social media like Instagram and Facebook. It's just JP Surf Camp. There's 2 S's there. We're also through the Parks and Rec Department of San Clemente, so you can go on their site as well, or if you get their magazines or their information, that's a good way to reach us as well.
Wonderful. Well, John, I really appreciate you being on the show, and we really wish you and your business really all the best moving forward.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnporangecounty.com. That's gnporangecounty.com, or call 714-941-8862.
Wonderful. You did a great job.